Hey everyone, it's Mr. Buro again from Staten Island Tech. In the video right now, I'm going to show you the 3 coordinate systems that are built into AutoCAD. You don't actually switch the coordinate systems while you're working in AutoCAD. You can use them all simultaneously based on whatever the needs of your particular design are. And the way you can switch between them is by how you input the values of the coordinates as you're typing them or as you're clicking on the screen. It's very important to understand that. Also, you should understand what dynamic input is. Watch as I click this line command. As soon as I click the line command, it says specify first point down at the command bar, but it also says it near the cursor. If you're seeing words and numbers pop up near the cursor and guides and things like that, then you know dynamic input is on. That can be controlled with F12, where I could just turn it off like that. Or it can be controlled by clicking down here on the status bar. Just so you know, that has to do with the way you input things as well. Okay, so I'm going to cancel that out and reactivate the line command to use absolute coordinates. This is the first coordinate system, is by far the most basic. It's the coordinate system that you're used to using inside math class. And in that coordinate system, everything is measured from the origin, and the origin is still 0, 0 in AutoCAD, and it's present visibly on the drawing window towards the bottom left of my drawing right now. So I'm going to select the line command, and I'm going to repeat this rectangle that I pre-drew at the coordinates shown down here in this particular area that I have reserved. And I'm not going to count the boxes because I already set up these particular arrows to show me what coordinates I'm going to be using. That's something that I set up ahead of time, not something that you're going to see normally. So it says that the first point is going to be at 10, 0, so I will type in the pound sign or the hashtag. That is how you activate the absolute value coordinate system. So I type in the pound sign, and as you can see on the cursor, the pound sign now is visible. I'll type in 10, 0, press enter, and as you can see, the line has started to be drawn at that particular point. Now the next point is at the point 20, 0, and I do have to enter that hashtag or pound sign every time to tell AutoCAD that I want to call upon that coordinate in the absolute coordinate system. Again, you can switch on the fly. So I'll type in that hashtag and then 20, 0 and press enter. And I have my next line. The next is 20, 5. So hashtag or pound 20, 5. And then the last 10, 5. As you can see, I'm not even touching my mouse. So hashtag or pound sign 10, 5, press enter. And then lastly, I'll just close it off by hitting the close button. And as you can see, I did recreate that rectangle using the absolute coordinate system based on the true coordinates of the points inside AutoCAD. Next, we're going to move on to the relative coordinate system. The relative coordinate system is the default coordinate system as you type things in AutoCAD. So you really don't have to use a particular symbol to activate it. However, there is a symbol built into AutoCAD to reference the relative coordinate system, and it's the @ symbol, just like you'd be typing the @ symbol when you type an email. So, to get this started, I'm going to have to count on the screen a little bit, and I will select the line command, and with my object snap on, I will select the center of the circle, just so I have a good start point. Okay. So now I've started my line, and with the way the relative coordinate system works is that every time you draw something new, the origin from where you're drawing happens to be your current position. So you're going relative from your current position, moving on into other places of the drawing. Now you're going to use the X and Y axes as sort of directions to work with. The x-axis in the positive direction will be the first number you type if you want to move to the right. You're going to use a negative value for the x entry if you want to move to the left. So typing in a 4 comma -7 is going to go 4 to the right. And if I had a negative number at first, like a -3, 2, that would be 3 to the left. So in this case, I want to move upward. And as you would imagine, the y-axis is what controls up and down. So up is going to be a positive y value and down a negative y value. It's pretty straightforward once you get used to it. So just by counting on the screen, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dots going upward. So that is going to be the coordinate 0 for x, because I'm not going left or right, comma 6. And that should plot me right down on that particular dot. Yes, it did. So now I have to go 2 units to the right. So that's going to be a simple 2, comma 0 for 2 units right and 0 units up and down. Now I have to go 2 units downward. So that's an easy 0, comma -2. And that will send the line down 2 spaces. Now I have an account on the screen again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units to the right. So that's going to be 7, comma 0. Now I got to go 2 units up. So that's again a 0, comma 2. Now I'm going to be moving diagonally. You don't have to go up and then right and then up and then right and then up and right in several different commands. You are going to tell AutoCAD that you want your next position to be so many units over to the right and so many units over in the upward direction. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units over and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units up. So I'll type 5, comma 5. Press enter and I'm right there. Now I'm going to go downward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 0, comma -9. And then left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So -12, comma 0. And then downward. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, comma -4. And that's it. Okay, we're going to pick up with the coordinate systems right now with the final coordinate system, the polar coordinate system. With the polar coordinate system, you are going to be drawing on the screen also relative to your current position, but now instead of specifying a direction and a distance with the x and y axis, we're going to be using a degree for direction from 0 to 360 and a distance value that can be described as like the magnitude of a vector. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So as I draw here, and I'm just going to randomly draw some lines, pick the line command, and I'll just have a starting point, let's say over here. And using that vector coordinate system, I'm going to think, which direction am I going to go? Let's say I want to go directly to the right. So according to this diagram over here, if I'm standing in the center and I want to go to the right, that is the beginning of the direction system. It starts at 0 degrees. So the positive x-axis is going to be our line of reference that all angles are measured from. I know this is going to take a little bit to get used to, but you'll get it. So I'm going to type the @ symbol to tell AutoCAD that I'm going to be using a relative coordinate system. Of course, like I said before, the polar coordinate system is also a relative coordinate system. Now, the next is to specify a distance. So I'll type 5 to go a distance of 5 units. And then I will use the less than symbol, which in AutoCAD represents an angle. And I'll type a 0 to specify going in the right direction relative to where I was. And as you can see, the line drawn is 5 units long, and it went directly to the right. Now to go directly up, I'm going to use 90 degrees this time. So I'll call the @ symbol again to reference relative or polar coordinates. And then I'll specify a distance. This time we'll go 7 units upward. And I'll use the less than symbol, and I'll type 90. And 90, according to the diagram I have, specifies directly upward. And as you can see, that's 7 units long, going directly upward. If I want to go somewhere in between, like 30 degrees, for instance, I can go ahead and do that. I'll draw a line that goes 30 degrees from the 0 line. So it's going to be in between 0 and 90, a little bit upward and to the right. And I'll use a distance of 2 this time. So we'll hit the @ symbol, and I'll type 2, and then an angle of 30 degrees. And as you can see, I went up and to the right at an angle of 30 degrees for a distance of 2. Let's go downward this time. Now for downward, I can still use the degrees as you would expect. And this time I'm going to specify a distance of 6. So I'm going to go not directly down at first, but I'll go, let's say, at a 45 degree angle downward from where I am. But I can't just type in 45. What I'm going to be typing is 315 degrees. To go from here downward that way is 315 degrees. So I'll use a distance of, let's say, 5 at an angle of 315 degrees. And as you can see, it does appear to be a 45 degree angle downward. And right now, I'm going to show you that I can do that also with a negative value. Negative values are going to specify clockwise. I just messed that up. Clockwise movement inside AutoCAD. So negative values are clockwise, and the default direction, as you can see according to the diagram, is counterclockwise. So let me continue my 45 degree angle line downward by typing @ and I'll do another distance of 5 and then an angle, and I'll type in -45 for my clockwise measurement from the 0 line. And as you can see, it's the same line. So that's pretty interesting the way it works. If I wanted to go directly left, I could use 180 or -180. No one ever types -180, so let's just use 180. I'll do at a distance of 4, angle 180, and as you'll see, this will go directly to the left. I think you're getting the idea of this. If I wanted to go a little bit left and then downward, I would be adding those numbers to 180. So like, let's say I wanted to go 15 degrees downward from the left, that would be 180 plus 15 to be 195 degrees. So I could type at, and then a distance, let's say 4 this time, and then an angle, and I'll do 195, and that would be 15 degrees more downward and left from the 180 line. And as you can see, it went that way. So it takes a little bit of getting used to, but just know that 0 degrees is to the right, and that's always by default. You're using the @ symbol to call upon the polar system. You're then typing a vector value for your distance, and then your angle, counterclockwise, in positive, or clockwise using negative numbers. That's it. Thank you very much.